Joe Football Show, and it is time for the final word. Let me turn that down as well because it's going red. Oh, this mic, especially with Paul sounding, so sweet on his mic. I'm like, I feel, yeah. I'm being upstaged by Paul and his nice tones on his mic, but hopefully you can all hear me all right. StreamYard's working as well, which I'm buzzing about because it wasn't earlier on. But we're here to discuss last night. We're going to talk about Stewie D as well because it's a sad day. But I'm trying. It's not even a case of seeing the positives. Call me a tinfoil hat brigade man, but I almost feel it's been engineered perfectly for the 4 games that are left. That's how I feel. It's like all that's done me as like re-galvanise the fan base. If it doesn't uplift the players and give them something to fight for, then they're in the wrong job for me. So I think genuinely this news, although bad, could end up being good, if that makes sense. Saturday should be rocking. Blackburn have been beat 5-0 tonight by Bristol City. I know it's not as easy as like, they beat Sunderland 5-1 and we drew 0-0, but genuinely, Blackburn, we need to be battering at the weekend and come back with a bang and just go on a run now. Which Farker spoke about last night when he said we drew 2 and then won. So let's go and win a game of football. We will talk about tonight's game and how that's benefited Leeds, of course, because Ipswich have dropped points. We spoke about on it yesterday. The top 4 right now, in terms of the form over the last 5 games, is diabolical for us all. The nerves are getting to everyone, so there's still life in the old dog yet. And we will talk about last night and what we'd like to change. Not so much on the performance, but what can we change moving forward? Is it as simple as changing a few players? I know the chat will be saying, get Bamford out, but, maybe it is as simple as getting Bamford out. I don't know. We'll chat about it. I know Jack won't have that. Jack will fight you in the chat, trust me. But let's welcome in debutant Paul, Leeds Therapy. Big up to you, mate. Thank you for coming on and let everyone hear how crisp that mic sounds, man.
You might want to employ me for some ASMR, really, to be honest with you. I might be able to do a little bit of that, get everybody to sleep. No, thanks for the opportunity, mate. I really, I do appreciate it. Literally just started out this season, decided to have a go at this, and it seems to be going really, really well. So, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with some of you guys on here that have been doing it for a little while. I'm kind of fangirling a little bit, so I'm holding it back as best as I can.
Legend. Love that. I love that. Jack, man, you was at the game last night, mate. How was it in the ground? Oh, Lockie was as well, actually, so we can hear it from both. Were you, Paul?
No, I couldn't get a ticket for last night, unfortunately.
Cool. Now you're in this space, mate. You might be able to get hooked up with tickets, You never know. Jack, you were at the game, mate. How was it in the ground, bro? Was it as tense as it seemed on the TV?
Yeah. I think it were all right in the first half. Everybody was sort of on board, especially what Farker had said, we need to get behind them and get it going and this and that. But second half, I felt, to be honest, it got a bit angry in there because obviously we weren't really delivering or going forward very much, looking like we were looking to looking to push forward. I think there were a lot of people getting raggy about sideways balls and stuff, but that is just how Farke plays, isn't it? He's not going to switch that up. If it's in the 89th minute, he's not just going to start pumping it long. It's not what he wants to do. So I think people get a bit on they don't want to go forward. I think they want to go forward, and I agree they need to move the ball faster when we look laboured. But in terms of pumping ball, and then Meslier, Silent S, pumped ball forward a few times, and then everybody went balmy anyway. So they want it long, but they don't want it short. They want it. We all want a goal, don't we?
Yeah,
that's what it is. That there's no doubt. So we're all for the goals. I think the stadium wanted a goal by the seams of things. So
it's horrible, isn't it, when you're in the ground, right? Because I haven't been this season, but obviously I've gone prior, and when every fan sees things differently, right? So you'll get annoyed because they pass it back to Melly. A fan will get annoyed and they pass it back to Melly and they go, oh, but then you'll be like, what are you getting annoyed for, man? They're recycling it, they're going again. And then it just becomes and I hate that. I agree with you. I hate that. Because it's audible and everyone does it at the same time. And it's and then sometimes it can cause the keeper to rush it, for example, because he can hear that as well, right? So, yeah. I think Locks actually, just to switch to Leicester, apparently after their game, not the last one, the one they won, it had come out after the Enzo had said to the keeper, Hermanson, if you kick long again, I'm subbing you. because I think he'd fallen into that trap and wouldn't play short and hoofed it. And apparently it came out at the Leicester side that he'd said to him, if you do that again, I'm going to sub you. So they have to get past that. Lockie, obviously you were there at the game last night as well. How was it for you?
Yes, it's hilarious because every time Rodon got the ball, he always went left. Every time he got it, the crowd went, oh, it's like Rodon. Like you could tell he was like every time he passed it, was like, oh, well, there's no one else on. It were Jack's right. It was very. It did get a bit angry at times. A lot of it was wasn't it a part in that second half where we were really trying to back and really trying to support and get reaction, but they weren't as big a reaction. I think what we wanted. The crowd were really trying, but then it kind of accepted that we're not creating out here. No, what's going to happen? It's just crossing it from deep, really. So, or losing it. Yeah, it did get very tetchy, understandably. But I did feel sorry for Rodon because every time he touched the ball, it seemed like he made the wrong option. But that's down to us. That's down to the players on the pitch to fix that, and obviously working with the coaching staff to do that. Because, yeah, everyone's feeling it. Everyone's feeling the nerves. We are as a fan base. We're sat here watching, praying for, Ipswich to draw, get a point, and they're doing the same. That's the way it is. It's pressure up here at the top. It's a point where you can't drop a point. You can't drop 2 points. That's how dangerous it is up there. So it's tough for them. It's tough for us. It's tough for everyone up there. You see, the top four are all. Well, I'm looking at the last 5 here. We look like mid-table, all 4 of us.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah,
because every team around us is stepping up now. This is a weird comparison.
Bro, look at Watford. They're unbeaten now in 5.
Yeah. Doing really well. Middlesbrough as well. Doing really well. It's where imagine like a 100-meter race. Bear with me. Imagine like a 100-meter race, right? You start off slow and you build up. In every 100-meter race, right at the end of it, you slow down. And there's always a thing in running, like, why do they slow down at the end? Do you know what I mean? Before you cross the line, they always slow down. The speed at the end of the run is not as high. And it's a mentality of you've seen the end, so you relax. And that's a thing the brain does to the body, and it's hard to get over that. So there's kind of that mentality now with us top 4 where we've seen the end, we've been comfortable, or we kind of think we're better than everyone else because we beat them quite easily in some weeks. We've won the game in first half. Whereas now these teams around us are stepping up and they're showing that actually, if we really want to fight with you, we can. So it's about us and everyone around us, to be fair, stepping up even more and finding that extra level because it is tough. It's not fun anymore. It's difficult. It's tight. It can come down to margins. It can come down to penalty decisions. It can come down to anything. So, yeah. But, yeah, sorry, mate. I've blabbered on as usual. But, yeah, I enjoyed it. Man. It was good fun. It's good people. I'll be there at weekend as well for Dallas's thing, so I'm
that'll be some atmosphere, I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
I just want to pick up on this guy, Mike, mate. I remember you from last season. Love Jesse, yeah? Couldn't handle all the vitriol I threw at Jesse. And now you're back saying so much for promotion. You do realise, bro, we've got 4 games. You've gone too early. You've shot your load too early, broski, because we will still get promoted. So, you've all come out of the woodwork over this last 24, 48 hours. You know the accounts that you are, that I haven't seen for weeks, and then all of a sudden you're going, I told you. Please come back when we announce promotion on the final day. Please come back, because we will be there. We will be there. And the confidence I have gained tonight from Ipswich not winning is just boom. Stewie D leaving, and all that, it's just culminated in me saying to myself again, we're fucking winning all 4. We're winning all 4. It's happening, man. It's happening. Luke's with us as well. Luke, man, how was your bath first and foremost? Are you nice and refreshed? I'll move you about so we can see you, mate. Don't worry. There we go.
All right, yeah, there we go. It was lovely, mate. I didn't watch a minute of that Ipswich game. I went to the gym and then sat in the bath for 45 minutes for the second half and just completely ignored it. And it was after. Do you know what? I felt so relaxed and chilled until the end of the game. But as soon as that final whistle, mate, I knew about it, and that was it. I was straight on Twitter. Fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck them. Love that. Right, I do want to just touchly brief. Touchly brief. Touchly brief.
You're done for that, don't you, nowadays?
I'm going to say that's what Luke were doing in Bath, isn't it?
Love that. I do want to briefly touch on last night. I don't want to do it to a death because it's been done. Paul, I'm going to come back to you, mate. Like, where did we get it wrong? Where did Farker get it wrong? What do we need to change moving forward?
For me, he has got a bit of a project going on with Bamford at the moment, and he's sticking to his guns with it. And for me, Bamford is very much a confidence player, and his confidence is low at the moment. I don't necessarily think he needs replacing for the entire 90 minutes, but I do think Farke's substitutions, they're too late in the game for anything to be affected. I mean, last night, bringing Nonto on, and then in the 82nd minute, there was the Piru and the Joseph, and you just think that's far too late for them to be able to really sort of impact the game and to really do something. Kamara, I still don't think is 100%. I think he's still suffering from being ill. So for me, I think Roberts should have started, and I think Gray should have been that attacking midfielder for us. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
that's where I think it was wrong last night. It's my big thing with Farke. If I've got one main criticism of him this season, it's the substitutions are just sometimes far too late for an impact to be made on the game when we desperately need it. And it always generally seems to be a case of let's just throw every attacker on and see if that can make something. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Farke. I think what he's managed to do with this squad, from the absolute pile of dumpster fire that it was at the start of the season to where we are now. Listen, if we're all honest, we all would have taken this now 100%. Yeah. 4 games to go. There's a point in it where everybody's fighting for it, but it's like everybody's been saying, everybody's nervous. It's going to get like this. It's a long slog this season. It's hard work. It's relentless. I don't care what anybody says. We are everybody's cup final. Everybody will uplift themselves for us. Coventry might take tickets away from us, might have the biggest crowd of the season, but that's because they're playing Leeds. So the players are going to be up for it more, and everybody's like that, unfortunately. But we have to man up and get on with it. The experienced players need to show out a little bit more than what they have been doing, for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with a lot of it. A lot of what you said, mate. To be honest, I do think it needs an injection. I don't think he will change Bamford. I don't. No. But I think the one bright spark that we could see added on Saturday will be Nonto. I think Nonto looked really dangerous. James, you could argue, hasn't been great, but you have to say similarly neither as Bamford. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't think he's going to change it. Maybe he'll surprise us on Thursday, but I think if he does change it, he's more likely to go Pirro 10 and Rutter back up top than throw Joseph in, just based on what he said. But yeah, Luke, obviously you haven't really touched on the game yourself yet. How did you see last night? Was it? I mean, it was points dropped, wasn't it? We should be beaten.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubting with the better side. We controlled probably 85 minutes. Sunderland set up to defend for 85 minutes and did it well. Let's not take anything away from them. They did their job. That they came to Ellen Road very, very well. I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here, and I've been having it out on various social media channels.
Not like you to have it out on social
media.
No,
man, I love it. That's what I live for. But I actually felt Bamford was probably one of, if not our only outlet in that first 45. Even early in the second half, he was the one making look. He had an absolute spooner of a shot with his right peg, and that cross, took Tasmanian Devil's head off. Do you know what I mean? It were wild, but he was still making the runs in behind. He was still getting into Ballard. He was still getting into 09 and that. He was putting himself about. Look, Mateo Joseph doesn't offer you that. He's a completely different player, and I think he's the future, absolutely. But can we expect somebody who's never been in this sort of dogfight to come into a championship level game and offer the same sort of rugged, gritty performance that Bamford offers? We'll not know, because I very much doubt Farke's going to change it. I don't think we will find out. And I can see why people are calling for Bamford, because he's a very easy target when he's not scoring goals. Look, he's a striker. He should be scoring goals, and that's the way people see football. Yeah. But when you look at the work he does off the ball, I mean, his holding up play wasn't ideal yesterday, but he was laying it off. The ball was coming into him at pace, and he was finding another player in midfield, often Rutter, who was actually losing the ball. And if you watch the game back, you'll probably find that Rutter was a much worse player than Bamford yesterday. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a Bamford or Joseph, debate for the next hour or so, because we could do that to death, and we have done over recent weeks. But look, he hasn't been great, but neither's anybody. I don't think anybody sort of gave themselves flowers last night. Potentially Junior Firpo, but yeah, I thought it was a flat game. We didn't ever really look like scoring with one shot on target. It came right towards the end, and Yeah, it was just one of them, mate. It felt like we were never going to score from almost the first minute. It felt like we were quite happy to pass it around at the back. Now that could become a vital point come the end of the season. You know, we're one draw and an Ipswich loss away from going back above them in the league. Now they only have to fuck up once, and we pick a draw up, and on goal difference, we now go above them. So that could be vital at the end of the season. Look, they're a well-organised team. There's no doubt. They've got four clean sheets in 5, I think it is. Apart from getting spanked by Blackburn, who got spanked by Bristol tonight. There's no doubt that they're a well-organised, drilled team. When they want to defend, they can defend. They did it against us at their place as well, and nicked a lucky goal.
They had that setup of 5 at the back with the 2 wing backs, and then they would push into midfield where they came forward. And that the mid-low block is what we have, as a team, struggled with all season. It's why Rodon was constantly passing left last night, even when there was space on the side for James, because James was screaming for it loads, and that little bit of maybe too much reliance on create times. Because I mean, their manager they'd spent the week drilling themselves to mark Cree out of the game, and that's what they did last night. I mean, Cree's that good that he managed to get through a couple of times, but not getting it over onto the right hand side for me. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you what you're saying there.
And I think the same happens with I think they've wised up and they've started doing the same with Rutter now as well. And I said it, I mean, you'll remember back in January when Rutter was firing at that 10, everyone was, he's the Messiah, man. He's the second coming of Pablo. He can do everything. I was like, we need a natural number 10, regardless of what he can do in that 10 role. There'll be games and there'll become a time in this season that we will rely on somebody who can stand still and find pockets of space and literally just move the defenders around a little bit more. Rutter doesn't do that. He tends to have a dribble, try a little bit too hard, or release the ball far too early. And that's where we suffered last night in creativity. And it's a simple as that, really.
Yeah, I mean, there is the thing, isn't the and I come to you, Lockie, because I know you're a massive.
Is that Lockie? Bloody hell! I didn't even recognise him.
What? Why?
I don't know. It looks like he's aged.
Brilliant!
I think we all have this season.
Is it because these curtains are open and not closed?
No, rather than closed.
Got my shiny head out.
Yeah.
Hey, Lockie.
Hello.
What Rutter is really frustrating, and I've said it for a while. Like, Rutter in the Prem needs to improve. I know we're not there, but it's like Rutter in the Prem, chances will be so few and far between that he needs to improve his finishing. Because when they do drop to him, he balloons them, right? And it's almost like he's a luxury player, and he's doing the wrong things at the minute. So I do think it is a fair criticism from Luke to say if we're going to criticise Bamford, we do have to criticise much more than just Bamford. I know people fail to see that at times, but Rutter, what needs to change from him, bro? Is it because he's injured, maybe, Lockie? Is that what it is? But he's making all the wrong decisions. There was a pass out to the right at one point, right, on the edge of the box, and instead of laying on James, he turned into 3 players and lost the ball. You've got to just fucking move it to the right. Anyway.
Yeah, it's with him. It's a weird one. I was looking earlier at the amount he's played. I mean, throughout his career, and he's played about 4 seasons now. And in Germany, when he played 2 of them, before he signed from Rennes when he was really young. In Germany, he's not played more than started a handful of more than 20 games a season. As a starter. So the fact that he started, I believe, 40 games this season or 40 games this season is more than he's ever done. So he's never been at this physical level where he's playing twice a week. He's never done that. And he is 21. So there's probably that physical side to it, hence all the hernia issues. And I was watching yesterday, and every time he was off the ball, he seemed to be bending over and holding his hip. There's definitely problems there for me. He's definitely physically kind of not the person he was maybe before Christmas. And I think that confidence there in your body is affecting him. I think he's, like you said, he's overthinking his decisions, or he's trying to rush them. Like I said before, he doesn't secure the ball before he makes a decision. He tries to make the decision as the ball's coming to him. I think he's good enough in this league to just secure the ball first, start his first touch out, and then play around him because he's that good. There's definitely that aspect of it. But I think similar to everyone, I think there's a reliance a lot on either him or Cree at times. And he is young. We forget because he's a big lad. He's 21. He's very young and he's not played this much at this intense level. When he was in Germany, he was kind of mid-table for 2 years. So he kind of had
It's
that
a brand new
fun-
position as well, Lockie. We're expecting a lot from him, aren't we? You know what I mean?
It's a lot of learning for him to do, both understanding the league and the position and the expectation on your shoulders when you're not just an option off the bench that comes on and scores a few goals and does some tricks. He's now a main player in a side that wants to get back to the Premier League desperately. And that's probably just affecting him a bit. And this is, again, where we talk about the impact from players from the bench. Do we have other players that can come in that role and do it? We didn't get one. We didn't get a 10. We wanted Amir, obviously, and a few other players. We didn't get that. Perot didn't work, I don't think, the way we all expected in that role. So there is a lot of expectation on him, and that's maybe why he's not dropping him, because on his day, he can still get you 2 assists a game. You can still be pivotal in one moment. You might take 3 on, and score a goal. Like, he's that type of player. But it isn't fair, I think, that he's having to play this much and there's that much expectation. I think this should, and this is maybe one place we are short in terms of squad, is that depth in that position. You could look, we saw it a little bit yesterday. Monto came on centrally, did drift out a lot, but he did come on centrally. That's an option maybe. But again, Rutter's, yeah, he's a luxury player. He's a flair player. That's what he's good at. When he's confident, he's unbelievable. He's unplayable. When he isn't, he's a nightmare. And that's the same for most of those players in the world. Rafinha, for example, gets critics at Barcelona when he's not playing well, but when he's playing well, he's unplayable. There's those players everywhere, and he's struggling. He's young, mentality, the pressure. I'm still convinced he's playing through pain just from watching him off the ball yesterday. But yeah, got to get out of this. It's as simple as that. Whether he starts or not, if he's starting, he's got to find a way to play through it. There's 4 games left, and this is the fight we're in, and he's got to be up for that.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Jack, we'll round off last night with you, mate, because I don't want to do it to death, because I want to talk Stuart Dallas, and I want to talk about, obviously, the game coming up at the weekend and how important that is after Ipswich dropping points tonight. What are your thoughts on what you've heard, mate? 'Cause I know, obviously, the Bamford chat, you're a big staunch Bamford fan as well. Not that people criticising him as such, it's more a case of, like, do we need to change it up there? Yeah, what needs to change as well, bro?
Well, it's difficult to disagree with anything that anybody said, to be fair, but I think we have to allow for a little bit of dip in form in generally among the whole squad. No team is proving this way as well. The top 4 now, no team have proven that they can be dominant for the full season. It's very rare that, I think Burnley were banging, weren't they, all year last year. It's very rare that teams do that. Like, even when the BLC the first year we slipped away, we had moments in the second year, where you have wobbles. And I think people are very, very quick. Rutter's getting criticised because he is in competition with himself. So everybody's saying that there's no number 10 to replace him. We don't have a number 10 to replace him. Well, the reason for that is because there's nobody better than him at the club, is there? So if he isn't performing at the level he's able to perform at, you're comparing him to himself. So he's in a difficult spot, really. I also think if he does stop doing what he's doing, that's the only way he can affect the game. So he's not doing it. He's not braggadocious and, just messing about doing step overs, and, like he'll frustrate you. Like Lockie says, he can be a bit frustrating. I understand that, but that's the nature of the beast. With Bamford, I'm so bored of it. I'm honestly, I'd love him, but just take that aside. I'm up for any single one of them players to get replaced. I'm just bored of watching somebody for 90 minutes in a cup game score a couple of goals, and then he is the second coming. It's wild to me. I can't get my head around it. Some people were saying yesterday, Meslier lumped it forward, and Bamford couldn't get anywhere near the ball. Usain Bolt couldn't have got anywhere near the ball, and somebody shouted, "He is not fast enough. Get Joseph on." Like, I don't know if anybody's noticed, unless Joseph is like a wizard and he's so fast, it's unbelievable. You can't even see him. You just blink and he's on. And I just thought, I had to turn around. I thought, I'm going to have a little giggle to myself. And I sort of looked at him, and I don't think he thought what I was laughing at, but it was a bit maybe yeah, maybe that's a bit mental. I'm talking, he pumped it, or the keeper just grabbed it. It's like this instant, got to be Bamford's fault. That post was really funny on Twitter, wasn't it? Did you see that? Did you post that, Luke? It was like, did Cooper start? Why Leeds lost? Did Cooper start? Yeah. If it's no, then did he come on? If it's no, then did Bamford start? If it's no, then did he come on? Yeah, it's just this right, blame game. straight to a certain player.
That was made by a Huddersfield, Hull City fan, by the way, who was on my
Oh,
show.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good observation, because that is what they do. It's like, you know.
Did you not see the short from the White Rose Rivals when Cossey, the Huddersfield fan, said after the game against Watford, he went, Cooper was to blame for the war on Hamas, he was to blame for the war on Russia. This is what, but we fans don't see that. Do you know what I mean?
My mate once said, we watched, I think it was Chelsea, and we were all boozed up when we got beat when Bamford scored in first half. And he did think he were on ball, to be fair, but somebody gave the ball away, right? And he thought it was Cooper, so he went, because he's, you know, when we've all had a drink, he's a bit of a Cooper basher. So straight in on Cooper, and I was like, we was all drunk, but I was actually filming it to do like a reaction. After I thought I can't upload any of this, it was absolute shit talk.
I had somebody come at me yesterday, Jack, and tell me that Bamford can't score with his right foot or his head. His last 3 goals have been with his right foot. The one before that was with his head. It was the winner against Norwich.
Yeah, it's just he hasn't scored.
What the
in the
actual
past
fuck,
2
like,
minutes
people
with his
just
right
want to
foot or
believe
his
what they
head.
want, don't they?
But yeah, it wasn't even Cooper, and he was shouting at Cooper. So I said, it's not even Cooper. And I was like, a proper having an argument with him. So he said, well, Cooper should be telling him what to do with it. I thought, so not only does he have to be in charge of what he's up to, he has to be like, right, yeah, you give it in there, and you, right, now deliver. Right, now, it's like, Jesus Christ, you're saying he can't even do his own job, but yet you want him to be doing everybody else's. It's just a madness to me. Let's replace Bamford, but not at any cost. Let's find somebody better than Bamford. And then I'll happily move on and
I'm not saying, I think Joseph probably is a better player, but the experience at this stage of the season is second to none, and that's the reason. And Falk knows that.
Justice, though. This is what I mean. We don't know anything about Joseph. These players come along at that age all the time. It's like we've seen Rutter all year. He's definitely proved. That's what I'm saying. So he deserves this. He deserves this spell. We do this all the time. Geldart was the man, wasn't he? And we do it. Bate was the man, and some people still say we should have kept Bate. And they're all the man, and then they all go by the wayside, don't they? At least Bamford.
I'm the man.
at least I know what Bamford is. That's all I'm getting at.
Is he the man?
Bamford.
Yeah.
Ain't no doubt about it.
People forget as well, there's a big difference between the way that Bamford plays and the way that Joseph plays. Bamford, there's not only the goals element to what he does, but it's the running of the channels, it's the creating space. You only need to look at the goal that Nonto scored recently with his left peg from the outside of the box. That run that Bamford makes diagonally across the 18-yard box, unsights the keeper and pulls the defender so he can create the goal. Joseph is more of a, I know we don't talk about it, but the Alan Smith, get in your face, kick him, annoy him, just be really antagonistic. What's Joseph done when he's come on? He fouls people within about 2 minutes of being on, because that's the type of player that he is. That's the big difference for me. The big difference.
Yeah,
Bamford's a big centre forward. He's a number 9, isn't he? He's a big lad. He's strong. He'll have it with defenders. He does bother them centre backs. There's no doubt about it that he gets on the nerves.
I was just going to say, Jack, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, we don't have a time machine, but look at how riled Ballard was with Bamford in that game.
Should have been sent off. Yeah.
Could Joseph do the same though? Or would Ballard have bodied Joseph? That's the problem, innit? Whereas Bamford was doing that. Yeah, listen, and again, I don't want to make this a Bamford propaganda and because that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to be. But let's just park Bamford.
I don't want to be like
that. Reasonable about it.
I end up saying that I don't like Joseph in some weird way, and I'm not saying that even. I love Joseph. I think he's ace. Yeah, but I end up coming to Bamford's defence, and that means that I can't see anything other than Bamford. It's like that's not how my brain is at all. I just
Yeah, exactly.
Very black and white is a Leeds fan base, isn't it? It's one or the other, and it's not often like that. There's actually two sides, and there's actually a bit of a grey area where you can agree with everybody.
It's not, man. It's not right. We're moving on. We're moving
Bamford
on.
with an O as well, so I thought I'd get that in. If we're going to talk about my main man,
Bamford.
If you want it tattooed on your chest.
Anyway, right, okay, that's it. We'll move on from Sunderland. It was not great, but results have gone our way. Paul, the lads were mentioning there, Cooper, obviously, this is just going to flip it round to Stuart Dallas, because obviously Stuart Dallas announced his retirement. I loved your tweet, by the way, when you said, I will not have no one say anything about Cooper again. I did a reaction to Stuart Dallas and said exactly the same again. The amount of players that leave this football club, and in their parting message, it's always, thanks, Liam. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, this is why he's just amazing. Just to jump on as well, Radaby says, you guys seen the video of Dallas giving the news to the team? Very emotional. What a guy. Great representative of the club throughout his time. Just, Paul, what are your thoughts on, obviously, the bad news about Dallas? And just give me your initial thoughts on.
Yeah, it's devastating for Dallas, isn't it? Because he's the amount of time that he's tried to get back from an injury like that, and it would appear that the FEMA side of things wasn't the main issue, that it was his knee that was the problem, and the secondary incident from trying to recover from the actual FEMA side of things. So you've got to feel for him on that basis. I mean, look, Dallas is a player. Somebody put on Twitter today his heat map as a player throughout his entire time at Leeds United. And literally, I mean, it's red, so I have to get it changed to yellow. But it was just nearly every single part of the pitch was covered, apart from goalkeeper. Yeah. And somebody else put, I think Leeds Stats put on about, that's it. I think Leeds Stats put on about the positions that he's actually played in. And barring the striker role, he's literally played every single position at Leeds United. People call him a utility man, but you don't get that level of trust from Bielsa unless you're good. And, we remember the goal at Stoke, that build-up play and him getting on the end of the ball at Stoke to put the ball in. The Man City goal, I mean, that was just a ridiculous game. We should never have won that game. And then he's running through after that absolutely sumptuous through ball from Alioski and just putting it between the keeper's legs. I'm devastated for him, but he can hold his head high. He's part of some of my fondest memories of being a fan of Leeds United for easily the last 10, 15 years, without a shadow of a doubt. And I said it on the tweet, I'm not having anybody chat any nonsense and bubble about Cooper ever again, because what does he do immediately as Dallas comes into that room? Stands up and stands next to him. Don't worry, I've got you. Arm round him. I'm here for you. And that's the thing. Yeah, you can say that Cooper might not be up to it anymore in terms of being on the pitch, but what people don't see is, as a captain's role, what he does behind the scenes and what he does for everybody else as well. Not only that for the team, but for the community, the local area as well. It's been tough today, but he's, for me, Dallas, we use the term legend a lot, and I think it's used in the wrong connotations in sometimes. But when you look at what Dallas has actually done, where he's come from, what he's achieved for his country, and also for us as a club as well, he's a legend as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, love that. I don't think can any of us follow that? Has anyone got any thoughts on what? Coupled with the voice and the nice tones, I mean, I don't want to follow that really. Does anyone want to give it a go?
I think for me it was the news you never want to hear. Do you know what I mean? It was inevitable. It was always going to happen. We sort of knew where we stood. We got news back on grass and that, and you just don't hear any more updates. And as a football fan, you sort of get an inkling on what's going on. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of, I feel for him. Do you know what I mean? He's still 32, 33, I think, in a few days, and he still had this. A couple of years ago, he still had the legs. He was tearing teams apart in the Premier League. You know what I mean? It's a sad end, and you could see how much it meant to him in that particular video that I forgot who it was mentioned, but how much the club and how much everybody means to him, and that chat, that conversation, and that team talk, that is the platform now for the last 4 games. He's given them that. He's given them their MO to go and do what they need to do now, and it's on the lads now.
Yeah.
No, I agree, Luke. I was just going to say, the incentive is there. If ever you're going to go up for someone, it's going to be someone like Stuart Dallas, who's been at the club so long and achieved so much. And I love just the way in which, and this is why sport's great and why good people are an important part of the club. Because I said in the group chat earlier about, for us as fans, well, not everyone, some fans follow these differently, but some fans, they follow the club, what happens off the pitch. And it's not just about the 11 on the pitch, it's about the people around it and how it feels to be part of that support. Now, seeing, you know, his best mate realised he was struggling and go stand next to him, but also the club captain. I think that's both there. That was the important part of it. He saw he was, you know, tearing up a bit, so he went and stood next to him, and that's just the type of person that you need around the club in difficult situations like this. Look, Liam Cooper's not the best player at Leeds United. He's not going to, you know, win as this. Well, he might come on and win.
He's the best person, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a really good person. And so is Stuart Dallas. And these are key people that if they do look, everyone's saying they need to go, you have to replace that personality, or other younger players have to step up and fit their shoes, because the support is needed. You look at Ampadu, people like that. But yeah, it's a lovely moment for a top player who just give us all some unbelievable memories. You know, they all did in that team. But yeah, people talking about legendary or not, like whether, as some people think he isn't, it's based, for me, it's based on what he's given you as a Leeds fan, not necessarily the whole history of Leeds. He's probably not the best player in the history of Leeds, but what he's given me as a fan who brought up League One and mid-championship, what he gave me, the memories he gave me, he is up there for me. And it's beautiful to see. And honestly, if this can't motivate a bunch of players to win 4 games and get promoted for Leeds United, nothing can. This is a huge incentive for them players.
Do you know what I like as well? Like, and James B makes a good point. Like, look at the difference in the regimes as well. And I massively criticised the 49ers before the summer with the transfer window on that. And I hold my hands up. I was wrong to do so. It felt like a continuation of the same group. And I took stick for that, rightly so. And I was wrong. And I hold my hands up. But the difference now in terms of the quality of with which they operate, like with the Luke Ayling situation, I mean, imagine what they're going to do for Liam Cooper, for God's sake, man. That's going to be a wild one. There won't be a dry eye in the house, I don't think. So, yeah. And look, Joe made a good point earlier on a video that I did. Hopefully we get this testimonial for Cooper and Stuart Dallas can be involved in some sort of capacity. But the best thing to happen would be for them to be able to experience the game on the 4th having sealed promotion, because they had that taken away from them, not just us as fans, but them players that are, like Paul said and like others have said, that are legends to me in the modern day era. They also had that okay, players come and go, odd seasons, but Cooper and Dallas have been here for time, man. Time. I think Cooper shared a picture of him on his first training session, and they're with like Bailey Peacock Farrell. I mean, where the fuck's he now? Do you know what I mean? It was a different time.
Ule Rosler signed Dallas. That's how
there you go. From Brentford,
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And he was a winger. And he was, I
Yeah.
can't lie to you, he was shit. I'm sorry. As a winger, I was like, we are the only club that buys wingers that can't take a man on. But look what he ended up being. You know, I think Paddy Powell put out a tweet earlier on. Do you remember that season when he turned into Xavi, Iniesta, and Zidane all in the same season? And I was like, I love it. But yeah, Jack, what thoughts on Dallas, mate? I know you're...
everybody's hit nail on head, haven't they? It's just, you sort of, when I watched that video, you realise, because I'm not very soppy as a man in general, but you do realise how much time...
Full of shit, man, you are when it comes to Leeds United. Don't lie to me, man.
Soppy.
You are soppy, yeah, man. You love these guys, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what I mean. But I didn't think I'd be getting I didn't think it'd be even remotely emotional watching the 15-minute thing. And I'm not going to pretend I was emotional, because I wasn't. But there is an element where you you spend a lot of time with these people, don't you? As though you know them. It's like you're going to watch them every week. And you do build a relationship with this bloke that I do not know from Adam. Do you know what I mean? Bumped into at Leeds Fest and he were having an argument with his missus. So he wasn't in best of moods. But other than that, you never have any interactions with them or anything. It's like, but you do feel as though you know him. I feel like I know Cooper. And I actually get called Cooper's brother all the time on my channel, to be fair. Everybody says I look like him. So the only thing I would say about Cooper going up with Dallas, it did tickle me a little bit, that whole... I couldn't help but... Because I watched the 15-minute thing and it pulled on my heartstrings a bit. And then I watched that other one. And I thought the other one would be... I'm like a brick. Like cold as a stone.
Show us your Leeds UK tattoos on your neck.
He was. Right, cool. So here's something for you, and I've said it a couple of times now. Tinfoil hat stuff. But is there a case of this being announced maybe deliberately? Does it?
I think so.
Are we reading too much into it? Yeah.
No, I think so. I think they're probably saving it for Southampton, but they've realised that they need the players, fans, everybody needs a bit of a kick up their arse at the minute. And what better way to do it
as well? It distracts a bit from what's been going on.
Yeah, I think it was probably the right time to do it as well. Well, but only time will tell. But I think ideally they would have liked to keep it to the end of the season and announced it, or maybe even for the Saints game, last game of the season, bring him out on the pitch. You know, if promotion was already sealed or whatever. But they've realised that we're actually under a bit of pressure right now, and we, you know, it's a results game, and we need results over these last 4. What better time to release it than the penultimate home game of the season?
I think it goes back to, and it's funny because I know Lockie made this point a couple of episodes ago on this channel, that he said when we were talking about what needs to change. I say you guys were talking about what needs to change and what needs to happen, and it was about, is there a conversation that needs to happen? Do they all need to get together and have a word? And this is potentially that conversation. Nobody knows what the conversation needs to be, or nobody knows what that spark could potentially be. And I think this potentially is that spark. Let's get it over the line, boys. Let's do it for Stewie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the Liverpool fans saying, do it for Klopp. Let's do this for Stewie D, isn't it, man? Let's do it for Stewie D. Yeah, if you can't get
disappointed.
On,
I'll be disappointed though if they don't sing the Michael Brown song for Stewie Dallas at the weekend.
Like the
it
mad
doesn't
thing
fit,
is,
but
I was saying earlier on, man, it's like you know, they better not. They have to win this game. I can't be dealing with the fact that Stuart Dallas might have to come on the pitch at half time and we're 1-0 down against Blackburn. Do you know what I mean? With his family and that. Like, nah. We need to be battering them, you know. We need to be putting threes and 4s past them. I can't lie to you. Like, forget what's come before. Brand new now. 4 cup finals. We've been given another chance. You have to go and win that game. Let's talk about it then. Let's switch it up to that a little bit. Jack, I'll come back to you, broski. Obviously, I keep saying it, it's like, like a broken record, 6 cup finals, 5 cup finals, but it is that territory in it. And look, Ipswich have dropped points tonight. The door's massively open again, because without going all Kevin Keegan, they've got to play Hull City and they've got to play Coventry City. They're massive games, mate, massive games. So you could argue, Jack, we've got the easiest running. We still have the easiest running.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a slip now, haven't we? So it's every game's a win now, and if we win every game, I think we'll go up. It's also interesting. Ipswich have got like 3 games to play, haven't they? When we've only got Southampton left, which is either horrendous and we've already signed out, or it's absolutely mint for us. So because that will apply a lot of pressure to them, and if they are on a slip, we've all had a wobble. I thought we'd all have a wobble, though. Genuinely, I said it other week, didn't I? I just felt it. We're all coming. We've all been in some mint form, really. Like Leicester have had a massive wobble, and then they've shown that because a lot of people in Boozer before went into Ellen Road the other day. I think people thought Leicester had sort of turned a corner, you know, because they'd won a couple of games, and they're sort of back up against it, aren't they? So it is crazy at the minute, and I don't think the slips are over necessarily. That's why I think if we get maximum points now, I don't think we can be messing about, because obviously we're in like the weakest position effectively, aren't we? Because we are actually chasing, as opposed to, you know, we don't have any leeway really. So luckily, but you know, we have, I know it's a daft way to look at it maybe, but we have gained a point this week, regardless of, I know it's have gone, but we haven't stood still. We need to be moving further and making better leaps. Farke also mentioned that his Norwich side did this, didn't they? Where they went on a few draws towards end of season, which is meaningless, to be honest, isn't it? It doesn't actually, I don't mean that's what we're going to do, but, you know, it's not unusual. That wasn't my Wi-Fi. I did deliberately slow that down. It's not unusual to have a wobble at the end of the season. No, we're all going for it. We're all having a wobble. Ours is done. 4 big wins, whatever it is, bosh.
Yeah, you are right, though, in mentioning that. I mean, to be honest, when Farke mentioned it, I did have a look. I don't know if any of you have actually looked at that, and they did, and they drew the 3 or 4 and then won the last, because it's, when you actually look at it, you see just how bad of a fall off Leeds United had, because we had 1 win in the last 5. But that season was mad as well. Derby in there, Aston Villa were in there. It was a wild. Brentford, of course, up there as well. Mad season. But you are right in saying it, because at the end of the day, Farke's been here, hasn't he? And he can show that and say that to the lads. He looked
frustrated as well, didn't he? Yesterday, that's the first time I thought he looked a little bit, not rattled, because he's quite cool, isn't he? But he looked a little bit like, you know, they're going to get it a bit when he was off into changing room type of thing. He didn't look you could tell it were like business and like, we're not messing about here. Like, let's not do all this, because it kind of is pointless in it to go on the crazy run that we've been on and then just really mediocrely slip away. Like, you might as well just collapse, like Southampton, just fell right off, didn't they? And, I mean, I'm not suggesting we collapse if we're not going up, but you know what I mean? You could tell there were like a frustration in him that will probably get him bang up for it himself, because we had it so good for so long. It's just a bit of a reality check. And I honestly think I still think we've got best squad in the league. I genuinely do. So it's in our hands. I still think it's in our hands. Win every game, and I think we'll go up top 2.
I think Farke was probably just frustrated last night because he was waiting, knowing that he was going to get his 7th letter from the PGMOL to apologise for really, really bad refereeing. I think that, and the fact not to harp on about last night's game as well, because we have to put that to bed ourselves. You can't rely on favours from referees and stuff. But if the referee just applies the laws of the game correctly, A, we get 2 penalties, and B, in terms of the extra time, if we haven't scored those penalties, we get near enough 7-8 minutes extra time. Because it's
under the red card.
Exactly. So, but we can't expect that to happen for us all the time. So we've got to.
I agree with that, man, fully. But I don't want to be using the. I know you're not, dude. I just don't. Yeah. There's a general thing where Leeds fans think it's like the league's against us. We can't. The squad can't be doing that. We had all the ball. They didn't really bring much other than just on counter attacks. You have to create some chances. Yeah. We've also had. There's moments we've had when Bamford elbowed it in, didn't he? And we got away with that, and nobody mentions that. Just forget that. You could argue
right foot
itself out. Well, I think it was as well. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It won't or it. So.
I've always said on when I've done videos and like done reviews of games and stuff in the past and talked about it. My big thing is particularly in any league or in any walk of life, you have to earn everything that you've got. Nothing is given to you, nothing at all. And if you don't earn it, you then can't complain about the stuff that wasn't given to you. And I don't want to make excuses about those types of things, but they are frustrating. But you have to earn everything in this league because it's so relentless. And you
make your own luck, don't you? Ipswich have done it all season. They've been scoring in 97 minutes, and they've scored, I think it's something like 8 goals after 90 minutes or something. Yeah. But on the balance of play, they've been the better side in all those games anyway, so they deserve to win them or get a point. So
I even got annoyed last night at Farke, on the touchline, because I was that pissed with the performance that I thought. So I agree in the sense of what Jack's saying. It's like, you can moan all you want, but we could have had 10 more fucking minutes and we still wouldn't have created out last night. So I actually got annoyed that he was doing that. For the first time, I was like, and I get it now in the cold light of day, people say, well, it's 30 seconds for every sub and all that sort of jazz. But I was a bit like, nah, man, because we were terrible. But I was annoyed last night. I can't lie. I thought the performance just wasn't up to it.
I was just going to say, John, that as well. Course, like, I'm not about the extra time stuff. That's whatever, innit? Like, we did 93 minutes. So, but I understand the penalty stuff. Look, I've been done by refs myself this season. It's angering because of course you don't want to rely on that. But when the situation comes and you should have a clear penalty, you expect the rules to, like you said, Paul, you expect the rules to be performed in the way they should be.
And that changes the game, doesn't it, Lockie? That changes the game because they have to come forward then.
Yeah, exactly. You might play terribly and not deserve anything, but you've deserved to get a penalty because it should have been a clear one. And like you said, that's it. You're 1-0 up then. Completely different game. Because then, like you said, look, they have to come out of their very good shape and then it's end to end. But these are moments in seasons. You can't rely on it. Look, we were bad. I'm not going to deny that. In terms of final third, we were really non-existent. We troubled the keeper. I don't think we did. Honestly, I can't remember a shot on target if we had one. I think we had one, right? But they'll work on that all week. Like, that stuff you fix in training, but you can't change the moments that you should get. And that's what the frustration side of it. You look at the Cree shot. Don't always put his arm here and it's hitting.
That's just
going on target as well.
Well, even if he doesn't elbow that, Bamford gets a tap in.
Well, yeah.
Allegedly, let's not start that one here.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
He's right for his head.
Aside from everything to do with Leeds, like, well, it's not everything, but how legendary is that handball? It's unbelievable. I don't even know how he's like. I don't even know how he's. It's unbelievable what he's done there. I couldn't believe it when I had to watch it back a few times, and then even on his way down, he's like, He's gone down
It's
like
as bad as Maradona's, isn't it? It's
It's
literally
mental.
it's the same as
He's
Maradona. He's got his hand
deliberately
up.
done that. I don't think he's deliberately done it, honestly. I just think he's had like a body
Brain
spasm.
fart.
I don't know. And then he was like shaking his arm, didn't want it because he's obviously hurt himself doing it.
Well, he hurt himself because he punched Rodon in the face, didn't he? He slapped
like Sunday League stuff.
Rodon in the face.
Yeah, it actually annoyed me because he was doing this after the fact.
But I think that's because it hurt him, though. I don't think he was like, he won't do him. I genuinely think.
Yeah, on the stream, I'm going, look, he's taking the piss at us, like going, yeah. Do you know, like
I thought he just
joined
West.
like that?
I thought he just signed West. West Side is the best.
But for the Cree one where he had a shot and it hit him here, the rest literally in front of that one, not the corner one. I know it's in front, but the other one is right in front, literally looking at it, and he just kind of looks away. Like what?
Bamford said that he thought he was going to give it, didn't he? After the game, he thought he sort of looked and he thought the ref had seen it the way the ref was looking. And generally speaking, a player can tell if a ref's going to give a decision. Yeah. And when pretty much everyone in and around the ball has seen it from a Leeds perspective. I know Rodon said he claimed it, but he didn't see it. But yeah, man, he's one of them in it. You know what I mean? It could prove to be a vital point. You know, we're one draw and an Ipswich loss now from being back in the driving seat. One more loss for Ipswich, and we pick a draw up. We're above them on goal difference then, so that could prove to be a vital point.
It's exactly the same as it's literally as you were from the last round of games, but Leicester have lost the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So in the mix, we're back
and
there.
If you take the incentive into the next game, you know, if we win it. I think Leicester have to win. If Leicester get a point, they'll be on 89. We'll be on 90 if we win. So Leicester kind of have to win if we win to stay on top. So pressure on them as well.
This league, this year is absolutely ridiculous in terms of. It's usually by now it'd almost be tied up. There'd be one team that'd be 10 points ahead. Who thought that we'd pull back 17 points from January? Who thought that we were ever good? But do you know what I mean? You think it might happen, but that's a big ask. Everybody struggled, and it's a mental season. It's an absolute outlier of a season. I mean, at one stage, it was looking like 4 teams could get 100 points, and 2 of them would end up being in the playoffs.
No, you're right, man. Yeah, you're right. Although I have to. Just to say, I also said this, but
all right.
I'm like Jack, though, just eternal optimist all the fucking time. It is what it is.
I can't see point in watching if you're not going to think, well, we can do it. We can still do it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
Have you all voted for Luke Ayling for the Middlesbrough Player of the Year award? Yes. By the way, he's going to win it, isn't he? He's going to win it. I think they'll probably change it, but they will do. But look, man, it's been a very good stream, man. We've got loads of positives. So with that in mind, we're going to get some predictions for Blackburn, you know, because I'm feeling very confident. And I said this prior to Bristol City, and that if you watch my channel, you'd have seen it. Blackburn, I think without checking the stats, I've not done my research yet, but they are mad games, but we always come out on top against Blackburn, home and away, I believe, off the top of my head. I can't remember them beating us in recent times. Maybe that's wrong. But yeah, we do have wild games, especially against BLs, but we always win. So I think we'll score at least 3. I'm very confident, genuinely very confident. I think the Dallas thing, you know, Ipswich again helping us out. I think we win. And the mad thing is Leicester might struggle on Friday night under the lights at Plymouth. Plymouth needing a result. And imagine then, but yeah, I'm going 3-0, boys. I'm that confident. Let's get some more. Luke, what are your thoughts, mate?
Similarly, I mean, Blackburn's last 3, they spanked Sunderland 5-1, drew with Southampton, then got absolutely hammered tonight. I didn't know what word I was allowed to use then. Pumped. They got pumped 5-0, I think, back in the end tonight. So you just don't know what sort of team's going to show up. But I fully expect the best Leeds to show up in, as you say, with the Stewie Dallas thing, the 4 games. You know, we're in a position now where, you know, we have to start winning these games, and this could set a precedent to the rest of the league for the rest of the season. We could put the shit up people at this stage. You know, if we go out and put a real performance in against Blackburn, I'm going to go 5-1.
5-1, love it, man. I would love it. Imagine that, though. That'd be sick, wouldn't it? Jack, come on. Let's keep the hype train going.
Well, I'll go higher then. Do we need bigger numbers? We need bigger numbers. 7. No, I just think we'll win big time.
Yeah.
8, 9. It'll just be double figures. It'll be a joke. It'll be an absolute
Cricket score.
yeah. It's going to be a romp.
First goal is crucial, though, right, Lockie? We've got to get that first goal, haven't we, mate? And get it early. Get it early.
Preferably before half time. So,
Yeah.
Stuart Dallas can have a warm, relaxed crowd, not one that's angry with the team. I thought we were going to batter Sunderland, to be honest. I was very confident going into that game, and then we didn't. So, I don't know, they got battered today, 3 points off, though. We can't take that into account. We've got to want it more than them. I know they're in a relegation battle, but we want to win the league. We've got to want that more than them, haven't we? Yeah. 104. So 104-0.
Yeah. Nate's gone for 9-2. Nah, we will win this game, though. We're going to get our season back on track, I'm telling you.
3-1, I'll say 3-1. I always say 3-1, I'll say 3-1.
Yeah, Paul, come on. What you thinking, mate?
Heart says 4-0, head says 2-0. But I think it's going to be a dominating performance. I think we're actually going to have the stats or the actual performance to back up the stats for a change.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
Same. I do as well. Leeds United are going to win. We're going to get the season, get the train back on the tracks, all that sort of jazz, and we'll all just be relaxed going into. Is it Borough then or QPR? Which way around is it?
Borough, in it.
Is it
It's Borough, yeah.
Borough away.
Yeah, because the QPR game got changed, didn't it, for TV?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we play Friday Monday, don't we?
Borough's a Friday, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be wild, that. But we're going to get it, man. We're going to do it, honestly. It's going to be class. I love it. Right, let's finish up. Listen, Paul, do you want to tell everyone about Leeds Therapy? And listen, mate, great debut tonight. Thank you for coming on, and we definitely will have you back, broski, if you're up for it. But tell everyone where you're at.
I'm on Twitter. You'll find me as the Leeds Therapy on Twitter. YouTube, the Leeds Therapy. You'll find me on there. Effectively, my channel is just I'll do game reviews, I'll do game previews, I'll sometimes do a little bit of news. I'm not the best at the news stuff, and I'll just give takes on what I think about certain situations and stuff. I did a video recently about the stadium and redeveloping, and just put my thoughts on that. And oddly, that is the best performing video on my channel. I've got under 1,000 subscribers, and that video's done, I think, about 6,000 views, which is it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But my big thing is that I love it when people comment, good or bad, whatever. I just want people to have a conversation, and that's the whole idea behind it being called the Leeds Therapy. Is just talk about it amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic, talk about it, and then we can work it out from there.
Yeah, good stuff. And listen, I was watching some videos last night, really, really good. So make sure you go out and check him out. Please do that. And subscribe to the channel. Same goes for Ought to Know Better. Jack City, Leeds City, Leeds fans who was in my chat earlier on. Big up, mate. I hope you smashed a like.
I watched it all, man, earlier. All right, enjoyed it. I was just pottering about with AirPods on, just enjoying me.
If Bamford scores, I will buy 5 membership. Cost you more than that, broski, the way people have been going about him. I can't lie. And someone said earlier, if I get to 30k, will I do a giveaway? What you fucking want me to give away, bro? Like, I ain't got no for you, man. What do you want me to give away? I ain't got no for you.
Underpants worn.
After I've done like 3 back-to-back watch-alongs in this chair, man, it smells so sweet.
Paul, before you go, can you just say Rachel Adedeji?
Rachel Adedeji.
Nearly.
Do it in the Rachel Adedeji.
Oh, hang on, that's Rachel Adedeji.
Nailed it.
I love that. Class. Lockie,
Just thinking about Joe's pants.
Actually, let's Lockie, what's on the channel of late, mate? Have you got anything popping ready to go?
I'll do a video tomorrow. I don't know what it'll be yet. I'll do.
You'll do something.
Stuff,
You'll do something.
Yeah, I'll do something.
Jack City Leeds, what you got for the fandom?
Just Bamford love. Just all the Bamford love I can possibly get on there. That's all I've got.
Luke, Ought to Know Better. When's channel going out? What have you got?
We haven't done a Brady and Coke post-match review this week or a main pod because obviously we played last night. Most of them wanted to watch Ipswich. I just had a bath while that was on, so we haven't done that. And we're back tomorrow night, usually at 8, half 8 for our live of the week, which will be a bit of both, bit of a review, and then all your normal stuff, shit take of the week and all that bollocks.
Good stuff, good stuff. This is really frustrating me, honestly. I can't lie. Every time I buy a mic, right, there's something wrong with it. I feel like just, you know, when you get that frustrated, I just want to like bite it and then throw it out my window, man. It's really. I'll try and fix it, Glyn. Sorry.
I'll link you that cloud lifter thing, Joe.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can add that in.
And maybe I'll sound like Paul next time. Stevie will send you a free TV box, folks, if I get 30k. There you go. And they're the top boxers as well. I can't lie to you. Make sure you follow him on Facebook. He'll hook you up. Stevie Visuals and all that jazz. I think we'll leave it there, though. Thanks always for watching. Tomorrow is Thursday. Presser reaction, White Rose Rivals. That'll be a lot. And then on the Friday, we watch Plymouth beat Leicester. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm in my bed. Peace out, folks, and thanks. And make sure you subscribe to all these legends, man. Bye-bye.